County Sound Radio, the best songs of all time. Now, I'd like you to welcome my guests this morning, who are, well, the first gentleman that I'm going to introduce is called Howard Crosby. Now, that name, Crosby, will be very familiar to you as a County Sound listener because we play songs by Bing Crosby. And you're thinking, why would you mention that, Dave? What's the point? Well, Howard is the nephew of Bing Crosby. I'm right in saying, aren't I?
Absolutely, that's right. Yeah.
And it's very nice to welcome you to County Sound. And also joining me is the Mayor of Surrey Heath, who is Councillor John May. John, good morning.
Morning to you.
Let me start, Howard, if I can, with you, please. Now, being the nephew of a very famous man, of a legend, basically, have you got difficult footsteps to follow in?
No, I think that's a very good point. Actually, when I was a young man, I never even considered a career in the entertainment business because, when your uncle is Bing Crosby, you need to find another line of work.
Yes. You can't get much better than that, can you, really?
No, absolutely not.
I was reading a little bit about you. I gather you're a very keen golfer, and that's really where you and your uncle used to sort of get together, really, on the golf course.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really my connection. Of course, we're a big family. My uncle was the fourth of 7 children. My father was the third. And so I think I had something like 26 first cousins on the Crosby side of the family. So Bing had a lot of nieces and nephews. But dare I say I was one of his favorites because I was a college golfer and I played off scratch or won. So I played quite a bit of golf with him at various places up and down the state of California.
So what's it like growing up with a family name of Crosby, with such a legend as an uncle? Was it a difficult life, or was it just, a normal life, but he was a star?
Well, it was a little different for me than probably the rest of the family because my father was the only one who never left Spokane. In fact, by the time Uncle Bing hit the big time in 1931, my dad was already established as an executive with the local utility. And, of course, during the Depression, you didn't give up a good job as a utility executive to go chasing off after something else. So I grew up in Spokane, away from all the hubbub in California. So.
Well, let's talk about you as an artist, because you're a businessman, first and foremost, but you also keep alive the great ballads of the great legends of the past. Do you try specifically when you're singing to recreate Bing, or do you say, no, this is me, I will sing the songs, but I'm not going to try and be someone I'm not?
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to put it. If somebody at a cocktail party wants me to do an imitation, sure, I can do an imitation. But when I'm on stage, we do our own show, and people will say, well, I see a tremendous similarity between you and Bing, and I think that's probably a little bit of hooey because, it's fair to say we sing in the same key,
right? And
let's leave it at that. Let's face it, there was only one Bing Crosby. Nobody sounds exactly like him.
No.
And I certainly don't.
No. If I may say so, you're a very large man. Was height-wise, was Bing, how tall was Bing? Is it a family trait?
No. My father was about 5'10", and right. Uncle Bing was a little over 5'7". So they were not particularly tall. Uncle Bob, who was the fairly well-known band leader, had Bob Crosby and the Bobcats, a Dixieland jazz band. He was a little over 6 feet tall, so he was by far the tallest of the Crosby brothers. But my dad's mother, Katie Harrigan, was a woman of Irish descent, and she had 3 brothers, Dennis, Frank, and George, who were all 6'3" to 6'6".
Right.
So it kind of skipped a generation, and I'm almost 6'6", and I have a couple of cousins that are similar size. So it did pop up in the next generation.
Well, until I saw you today, I thought I was reasonably tall, but I've realised I'm not.
Yeah, when I'm in Europe, I like to tell people I'm 199 centimeters tall.
Yeah, that's all in decimal coinage. I wouldn't understand that at all. If I can turn to you, Councillor John May, the Mayor of Surrey Heath. First of all, congratulations on becoming Mayor last year. I suppose you're drawing towards the end, I suppose. Is it May?
18th of May is D-Day.
Yeah. Yep. Have you enjoyed your year?
Oh, absolutely fantastic.
But, I mean, you must have a very busy year. I mean, we know when we read the papers, when we hear the news, that the mayors are going around to all these events. Yep. Well, how many do you get through in a day? Sometimes 2 or 3 events you have to attend.
Sometimes 5 or 6 on a day. But it varies. We do get the odd few days off, so you can do a bit of work.
Well, let's talk about the mayor's charity, and in particular particular concert you're putting on at the Camberley Theatre. Tell us a little bit about why you've involved Howard and obviously what's going to happen.
Well, the interesting thing with Howard is that, over the years doing business with him, anytime you go to a restaurant and they find out he's a Crosby, they ask him to sing. And actually, if you close your eyes, you could say, "Well, it must be Bing Crosby." Then he started doing these gigs for charities. And so then I'm talking to him last year and saying, I'm mayor and I got lots of charities, Howard. How's about you coming to do something for us? Expecting to say, well, it was a long way to come, etc., to bring the team. But then, lo and behold, he said, yeah, great. And suddenly it's here. We're obviously promoting it for the 24th of February.
Tell us about the charities. What's the purpose behind this? Obviously, is to raise money for charities.
The mayor every year chooses, selective charities. I decided that, Frimley Park Hospital is obviously very, very important to us all in Surrey. And obviously, it works with the other hospitals in Surrey. And two particular charities are doing some fabulous stuff there. The Heart to Heart, which is, to help people that have heart attacks. Prostate cancer is something which a number of my friends have supported locally for years, and I decided to try and keep that going. So we're doing that. Lots of smaller charities that need a little bit of help. £100, a couple of £100. Now, the mayors don't raise ginormous amounts of money. In fact, one of the big things they do is they are a brand that supports the charity that they're going to.
Well, good luck with that. Let's just remind everybody, it's at the Camberley Theatre. It's on the 24th of February, and it's the Mayor's Charity Concert. The box office number, let me give this now, is 01276 707 600 if you'd like to get tickets. They're available. What is it, about £15?
£15 only.
That's not bad.
£15 only. Very reasonable. Yeah.
So, Howard, we've heard about the concert itself, the date and the cost. The important thing is, what can we hear in the concert?
Right. Well, I think you're going to see, we've been, the three of us that perform on stage have now been doing this together for the better part of 3 years. And I think we've got a show that people are really going to enjoy. It's myself as a lead singer and Randy Caping, my colleague, who plays the piano and about 10 other instruments, but he'll be on stage using some technology to enhance some of the sound. And then Gwen Lyons, who's our third partner, is a world-renowned harpist, and she also is a singer-songwriter of some tremendous skill. So she'll do a set for probably 45, 50 minutes of her music, in which Randy and I will participate some. And then our set will come on for an hour or so, and Gwen will be part of that at times. But we'll really focus mainly on, I guess, what I would call movie tunes, show tunes, and standards that people will be familiar with, going all the way back into the middle of the 20th century forward and coming forward all the way to some of the songs of Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Oh, brilliant. So recognisable songs.
There'll be a lot of recognisable
singing
songs.
Humming along with. Yeah.
And there'll be recognisable songs from artists like Frank Sinatra and Perry Como and Nat King Cole and maybe even Bing Crosby.
Even Bing Crosby. Well, it's been a pleasure to meet both of you. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. So it's the Mayor's Charity Concert at Camberley Theatre. The box office number is 01276 707 600. Get your tickets now. My thanks to Howard Crosby. Howard, nice to meet you. Thank you very much
It's a pleasure.
indeed.
Great to be here.
And to the Mayor of Surrey Heath, Councillor John May. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed.